may agree upon, because we all have our differences. We all have different ways of life that we are living. But right now, this day and time, we find ourselves in similar situations because we're going through similar difficulties and similar struggles. Times have changed, and we're going to have to take and adapt to the structural society changes that are taking place. May not like it, don't feel good, but this is the time for us to reset as America's going through a reset. So we have a lot to talk about because we have a lot to deal with, and we need hard solutions for hard situations and hard conditions that we are under right now. We are not here to just expound upon what the difficulties and what the problems are. We just trying to shine a little light and give a little love. And this program is not going to be everyone's favorite flavor. I'm not here to make friends. I'm going to break some hearts, but hopefully to help to build some folks' minds. We have difficult days ahead of us, and we must have the strength and the fortitude and the perseverance to be able to move forward. Not moving backwards, but moving forward. So there's a lot of things that we have to address. I'm going to deal with some political stuff first. Here in Baltimore City. Because there's some things that must be done in order for those who are at the bottom of the totem pole, that's at the bottom of the borough in this particular city, has to do. In order for change to come about, that means that you're going to have to put in some work. And a lot of people don't want to do the work. And that's the only way things are going to change, is that you're going to have to involve yourself. At what level of understanding that you have, but having the open mind to be able to take on more information so that you can grow and develop and move to another level. We need a restructuring of Baltimore City's government. I testified 5 years ago before the Baltimore City Council when they were making some amendments to Baltimore City's charter. And I talked about the power of the business community, because I testified behind at that particular time that was Donald Fry, who was the president of the Greater Baltimore Committee. Because during that time they were talking about giving tax breaks, TIFs, as they are known, or pilots, to Kevin Plank, the owner of Under Armour, to build his all-white community on the waterline. And we're talking about almost over $600 million in tax breaks. And the issue came up with this development, with these developments that's been going on and taking place around Baltimore City. The issue of tax breaks to these developers, just a small group of them, as they are developing in these neighborhoods or communities that we reside in. Let me retract. I don't believe that we live in what we call a black community, I guess call them places where we reside, because we don't control those communities in really any real fashion or form, besides a lot of disruption that takes place in them that we need to abate at this particular time. These neighborhoods and communities that has been historically disinvested from. We're talking about way before the 1960s in some of these communities where we reside in. Haven't seen any development or any change since the 1968 riots. And these places seem to be burnt out, boarded up, and depleted. One thing that we have to change and move away from in Baltimore City is this strong mayor system. We're going to have to make some changes to Baltimore City Charter to eliminate the strong mayor system. Because when it comes to development in other areas, when it comes down to the Board of Estimates, where the financial and all the deals are done, the mayor has 3 of those 5 votes. We need to move towards a system or structure of government that's more inclusive. That you, the taxpayer that has to pay for these things and pay for the services, and you're paying for a lot of services that you're not getting. We need to change this structure, that it will go to a councilmatic system of governance, that the council has say. Well, there's a problem with that, because they may be acceptable to the influence of the business community, of the philanthropist community, and of other special interests that gives them or contributed towards their campaign. So that's something that we always have to keep in the forefront of our minds. So particularly when we looking to vote for particular candidates to run for particular offices, particularly with the city council. And those that are voters have a responsibility to be knowledgeable voters, intelligent voters. You're not voting based upon how you feel, because our politics seem to be pigment based. We vote for folks because they look like us. They have the same skin pigmentation, but their interest is totally different. Because as I move all throughout this city, I see those disparities in service based upon income, and the income of those that's residing in certain communities. You go to Canton, you go to Furrows Point, you go to Butchers Hill, you go to Clippers Mill, you go to Roland Park, you go to Guilford, you go to other communities within Baltimore City, and you have a more wealthier tax base. The services are totally different. You go to certain communities, they got trash cans on every corner, or just about on every corner. And those trash cans are empty consistently by the city. They get their streets swept. And we look at the communities or the places where we reside, and we see totally something different. And it's worse when we get into those areas or those places where we reside that are high rental areas. We see the difference not just in the physical condition of those areas being unclean or unkept. We're talking about a mindset, because renters do not treat home or property that they may be renting as their own. It's just rental. And people who own homes have a different mindset. They will sweep their alleys, they will sweep the sidewalks, they will sweep the gutter, they will pick up the trash, and they will be conscious of their environment and keeping that environment clean. And that's not casting any kind of cloud over any particular people's head, but when it comes to us, we can do a lot better. Because back in the day, as a lot of people like to say, back in the day, Saturday mornings, be out there with the cleanser, cleaning the stoops. Those 3 steps. We got a lot of stoops here in Baltimore. Cleaning them down, brightening them up, freshening them up. You may not have no grass in the front of your home or in front of your no real lawn. Folks be out there sweeping the dirt. Sweeping the trash from out of the dirt. But getting back to changes that we need to make in city government. I believe in removing government waste and insufficiency. Sound kind of like Trump, don't it? It sounds more like former President Obama, because that same body that Trump set up to remove or deal with any kind of inefficiency and waste under the Obama-Biden administration, a same group and body was put up to do the exact thing. Trump just took it to a whole nother level. Those government buildings that are not being used, Obama has slated them to be gotten rid of. It's waste, not being occupied. And a lot of federal employees were released from their jobs. A lot of things took place under the Obama administration, as Brother David was talking about earlier when he was on. And I did a post back during the time of when Obama was in office. I did a video, and I asked a question. That if you have a loved one or family member who has got cut off of food stamps, Section 8 housing, and all these other government services, would you take them in? And there were some folks that I personally interviewed. They didn't want to be on camera, but they said no. And now we find ourselves in tight times and tight situations that we most definitely need each other. And we doing it going into fall, and we about to get into the winter months. We talk about cupping season, and a lot of people are going to find themselves alone for various reasons. Some will say because by choice. Okay, that's cool, that's fine. But when it comes back to Baltimore city government, there's a lot of inefficiency. There's a lot of folks getting high incomes. And you got city council people that's getting paid a lot of money for a part-time damn job. We need to go back to 2 council persons and make the job full-time. We need to remove the Board of Estimates or the Board of Estimations, because you, as a taxpayer that has to pay for the deals that are done, you have no say after this voted on at the Board of Estimates. The council has no say. So we want those kind of things. All business transactions with contractors or whoever, whatever, should be done and made through the city council. That way you can have your input. You have your say. Where you get the opportunity to exercise the voting power that you have to make your life where you live and those that you love have a better life. If you want to make Baltimore City, if you want to invite folks to come in to move in Baltimore City, you got to make it better for the people that already live here. See, sometimes you get these folks come on here just talking. Some of us are here because we're not coming to play. And we're playing too many games, and too many games with ourselves and with those that are around us. The finance department of Baltimore City government should be under the controller's office. Because if you need something removed, say for instance you need something, bulk trash or whatever removed, or you have a problem, a sanitation problem, whatever, you get bounced between two different departments. So we're going to have to start consolidating. The mayor makes too much money. And that way, by removing the mayoral system of governance in Baltimore City, it saves a lot of money because a lot of personnel would have to go. You can put them into another department or just let them go. But there needs to be some structural changes in Baltimore City. And as voters, you have to be responsible for politically educating yourself. Some of you don't need to vote because you just go in there and push a button and you just go straight on down. Just say yes, 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 yes to everything. When it comes down to other kind of add-ons of charter amendments or other kind of amendments, you do the same thing. And a lot of those things that you're voting on is working not in your best interest, in the interest of you and your family. It's difficult sometimes to come before these microphones, particularly with, I'll speak for myself and my brothers, Brother David and Durham, particularly with our histories. Our histories speak for ourselves. We don't take grant money. We frontline fighters. We don't have to go online to be looking up certain kind of information. If it's the Baltimore Development Corporation, if it's the Baltimore Foundation, if it's the Greater Baltimore Committee, if it's these other groups, the Gold City Foundation, and all these other foundations, the Soros and all those folks. We don't look that stuff online to get annual reports and stuff like that. We go to their headquarters. We interact and we conversate with them. And a lot of those folks know us on a personal kind of level because we've been going there for such a long period of time. So they see us when we come in. They know what we want. Sometimes they don't want to give it to us. But the way they structure it, they have to. And a lot of emphasis in Baltimore City, because as I've been moving around within the last 2 weeks or so, all over this city, the homeless situation has increased, and particularly among the older generation. 55 and over. I'm starting to see a lot of homeless women on these streets of Baltimore City. And we can see that throughout this country. We're in a crisis. We have a lack mindset. We seem to be disinterested, but interested at the same time. Because I might curse the next person out that I have a complaint about some kind of city service, but then when you ask them what are they doing or how are they addressing that issue, they give you that, well, you know, they're going to do what they got to do. You know, it's the system. It's the system. It's the system. We can't win. Shut up. If you're not going to do anything to change anything, just shut up. You in the way. Because when I'm at these Board of Estimate meetings, when I'm at these council meetings, I don't see you people there. I see one or two. And have seen one or two people consistently for years. One of them is my big sister, Rhonda Winbish. Politically active, not just for herself, particularly with her own child. That's an adult now, who has special needs. If we're not going to do some things for ourselves, then we should be doing for our children so they can have better outcomes. I'm trying not to be emotional about this because it's hard when you see the young black males and young black women under 30 years old with mental health conditions. Now we're seeing a lot of these brothers under 25 years old. They're gone. They messed up. Talking to themselves, doing all kinds of crazy things. These are our children. These are supposed to be our future. But times change. So that means that we have to readjust our mental and our emotional for the upcoming changes that are happening. See, because Brother David was talking about, about the sisters, this and that, the other. Some of us been talking about that for years. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about it for years. You hate your mother. You hate black women. You must be gay. I'm serious, Gene. Serious.
Yeah, you gay.
I'm gay. You know what I'm saying? Wow, but because when you start bringing up certain kind of issues, they can't defend themselves on that because they have helped to perpetuate that. And what David said was true, and I think I said it maybe about a week ago in the first program about the over 300,000 black women that lost their jobs. These, as I said, these are some of the same sisters, that was boastful, that was arrogant, that was egotistical, that was prideful to say to black men, I got my own car, got my own house, got my own job, got my own money, this, that, the other, on and on. I don't need a man. No, you need a man. You might have had a male, somebody clapping them cheeks, but you had no covering. And now you find yourself out in the cold. And when you lost that job, you lost everything else down the line. And now it's at the point that even your children cannot get entry-level jobs because of other groups of people taking them. And they harm other groups of people, we being displaced, and we cheering it on. We condone it. Well, they people of color. Well, they were oppressed. Not like you. They don't have the same history you have in this country. And sometimes I don't want to come before this microphone and just rehash some things that were said 10, 11 years ago before this same microphone. We got to grow up. It is grow up time. And it's a grow up type time. It's a grow up time that we are now forced into. You're being forced to grow up. You're being forced in a situation where you're going to be forced to stand up or check out. And one thing that we have lost within the places where we reside, within our families, is a family support system, a network. We have became so disconnected and so individualized that, and personalized a lot of stuff. Well, that ain't happening to my children, so you're not concerned. But you should be concerned. Because those are the same ones that's going to come behind you. Matter of fact, they're the same ones that's victimizing you now, that has you scared to come out your door, that has you scared to do some things that you would like to enjoy and places that you will like to enjoy and go to, because you're not sure these days when something that's going to pop off or somebody that's going to pop off. And there was a saying that there will come a time when your flesh will speak out against you, and our flesh, our children, are speaking out against us, who they are victimizing us. Folks tell me, Donna, boy, you got to worry about police. No, I don't have to worry about no damn police. I got to worry about that young brother walking up on me with a damn ski mask on in damn 80-degree weather. I'm an old school brother. I'm a drop you where you stand, and I'm not going to wait till the body. I'm not going to be around when the body drop. It's real out here in these streets of Baltimore and other cities. So when we're talking about government, when we're talking about services, when we're talking about how we live as a people in this city, we have to be more responsible. And as I said, I have one of those conversations with somebody, and they get to, and we get to talking about these issues, and the first damn thing they talk about, well, I don't talk about politics. So why are you damn complaining then? Because your politics control how you're going to live and where you're going to live. Because soon a lot of folks ain't going to be able to live in Baltimore City, because these neighborhoods are being gentrified, and a lot of development is taking place in these neighborhoods that has been disinvested from. Even though you didn't have 5 or 6 black mayors, it hasn't changed drastically for you as far as on the upturn, on the upswing, because we have a proliferation of boarded up homes. The 9th Councilmatic District has the bulk of boarded up homes in this city, and there's no way that you should be paying top rate property taxes and you living next door to a boarded up house and a damn tree growing through it, that you can't walk down the alleys. I could go through a lot of things, but you have to change city government. We no longer need the mayoral system of government. Everything should go through the city council. That way, you have the responsibility to be able to participate and to change and have a say in what goes on and what happens in Baltimore City, you have to put yourself and your family at the forefront of concern. We worry about every damn body else. We worry about ICE. But we live in a cold, hard damn life. Picking up other people that's displacing us. At one time you could be going to work. Brother, sister, 5 o'clock in the morning, be dark outside. You see a black woman sitting on that bus stop going to a low-wage job. But now she got to compete with an illegal immigrant for that same job and position. So I'm going to ask you the question that Dr. King asked, that we seem to wish to avoid answering. Where do we go from here? We understand what's happening nationally. We see the cutbacks that's taking place. We see that another group of people, this so-called patriarchy that black women like to, talk about that exists in the black community, never existed. Black women have ran a home and ran a community from the damn time of we was on the plantations. And now they running politics and running it amok. With feminism. But Trump came in, put in Newt Gingrich contract for America. That's what it is. Contract on America. It didn't go anyplace. Other folks played a long game. And what's happening now is that these white men or white males are putting their women in check. Why do you think they talk about family values and all those other kind of things, the right to life and all those other kind of issues? The wheel is turning the other way. There has to be some kind of balance. There has to be some kind of correction. Because all we see now is decadence. What we see now, anything goes. What we seeing is folks operating on a low vibration. The lowest of the low. And we caught up in it. Because me and a sister had a conversation yesterday. One of those boastful ones was talking about, well, black women been holding down a black community for a long period of time. I said, no, sister, y'all haven't been holding the black community down. You've been holding it up. And you've been holding down your men. Because as Brother David was going through the things of how the women, after the 1970s, during the 1970s, as they were elevated into these government positions, into government position and government jobs, and they was making more money than their men at the time. And as time progressed, we got into the 80s, we got into the 90s, and all of that kind of stuff. We just saw a flip and turn in the thinking that, seeing that we are in a situation now that we are making in certain categories more than our men. We really don't need them. And as black men, we feel disvalued. And we have been disvalued, devalued, overlooked, not seen as necessary. And if we're seen as necessary, it's for monetary reasons, and monetary reasons only. We into this mindset of the give and the take. It's what you can give and what I can take mindset. And it has been incorporated or indoctrinated into the younger generation, particularly the younger generation of women. That it was passed down to them through their mamas, their grandmamas, and great-grandmamas. It's been about 3-4 generations that we've been hearing since I think the last 80 years. As far as black men are concerned, we ain't. And as I said, it's repeated and stated before our children and before our sons. So what we have to deal with is a problem of family structure. Or the like thereof. There's nothing that we can't get around that any longer. Because our marriage rate is way under 30%. Divorce rate is hitting 80%. And 80% of those divorces are being filed by our women. Brothers not walking out relationships and marriages, the women are. Because they got options. Because it's so easy for them to do so because of the no-fault divorce laws. And there's some things that brothers are going to have to do too, politically. You say you don't, I don't, get into politics. That's the white man thing. All that other kind of stuff. But brothers are going to have to do some kind of things. We're going to have to look at, I'm going to be talking to some of these council people to put into some legislation. They might have to craft the legislation myself with some legal assistance. Dealing with paternity rights and all those other kind of things. There should be mandatory DNA testing upon birth, because these companies that does these DNA tests, they saying 30% of the men that's being tested, the children ain't theirs. Mm-hmm. So the question might become, who's your daddy? Mm-hmm. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? And I'm not making fun, and just trying to make light of that, but sometimes I poke the bear. Like to shoot them. Like to try to get you to think a little bit. Because when I say that mandatory testing is necessary at childbirth, who do you think that's going to oppose it? Women. Because it's going to take in force a different change of behavior. You're not going to be so damn promiscuous as you are. And it's needed not just for legal purposes or economic purposes. It's also needed for medical reasons also. Because those things, or some things, or illnesses that may be running through the genes of the family, of high blood pressure, of diabetes, cancer, and other kind of illnesses. People need to know their history and their genealogy. It's not just the brother trying to get out of something, as a sister told me. Miss Jean, what time we have?
It's 1:45.
1:45. I'm going to do what the brother David did. Anything that I have said so far, and I have said a lot, because these first couple of programs are going to be more of introductory programs. I'm going to hunt down Dr. Cobbs, Dr. Bobby Cobbs, so we can get him back here on this radio program to we can really get into his book, The Sharecropper's Son. Oh, yeah. He came from 4 generations of sharecroppers, and his grandmother did not want him to carry on that legacy. She was going to break that chain with her grandson, and she did. And this was taking place during the latter part of the 1950s and the 1960s. Because a lot of folks don't know, during the 1960s, we were still sharecropping. We were still on the plantation. And his grandmother used to work in white folks' homes. cleaning and doing those other kind of things. You know that a lot of our grandparents and some of our parents, and particularly our mamas and grandmamas, they were domestic workers. That was some of the only work that was available to them. But a vast majority of them was homeowners. Homemakers. They were women that stayed at home to keep the family intact. And at that time, before 1965, we had a marriage rate of over 85%, under the worst conditions that we could be living under. And they was able to manage it and build homes and be able to establish things that we have benefited from. They was able to do more with less. And we just have been so bountiful and so blessed with all the things that we have able to do and accomplish today. And we find ourselves nowhere. Stuck in the mud. Not gaining, but losing. Is there someone on the phone line machine? Folks, y'all scared to call in here. Y'all scared of us. Y'all scared of us, me, myself, David, and Darren. Y'all afraid of us, okay? I know y'all are. Because I talked to a lot of y'all, and y'all said you're going to be listening. And a brother berated, he just drugged myself, David, and Darren yesterday. I was talking to him. He said, I didn't, man, that Brother Don, last time I saw you was in doing the Freddie Gray rides. I said, well, why the hell you complain about the troops? Because you had the troops here then. You didn't complain about them then, did you? So don't tell me the troops have been in Baltimore. And some of those brothers that was soldiers, they were looking like my nephews. These guys, these young brothers looked like they was just 16, 17-year-olds. These were young black men that were down on the corner of Penn and North as we was watching the brothers from the nation give out pizzas. You believe that? Damn pizzas. We saw the clergy response team come out. These damn ministers. They all came out. They ain't come out to console or try to do certain kind of things. They were there to maintain damn control. Because these folks they ain't into no separation of no church and state. The damn state is in the church. And the state of the church is in disarray. The world is in the church. All you got to do is listen to Jamal Bryant and some of these other folks. Cast me your bread, cast me your dough. And the same woman that was in the club freaking Saturday night is sitting up in the church, gap-legged in the front, Sunday morning. It's about the money. So that's why the church doesn't admonish women the way they used to, being modest and some kind of chastity, this and that and the other. Last church I went into with a friend of mine, I walked the hell out. Because the preacher, the minister, was telling the single men in that congregation for them to hook up and build a family with these single mothers that was in the church. No, them single mamas need to think about them damn bad choices they made, messing with Pookie and Ray Ray and them. And find themselves in a situation that they're not able to sustain themselves fully and their children because all the government assistance and the government programs that have held them up are no longer in place. So we have to deal with that. We have to deal with the women that lost jobs, losing homes, losing everything. and even those that are in two-family households, and that woman lost that job. So it puts much more strain on the family, much more strain on the community, much more strain on our lives. So if you want to talk, you can call and cuss me out, curse me out. Or just add to what we need to do to try to change some things before it's too late, because we don't have a lot of time. We got less than 3 years. It all depends on what takes place within the next couple of months and the beginning of the new year. That time can be cut down drastically before we as a people, as a group, as a collective, economically go flat. Because after my parents, your parents, and those like myself that's a skip, hop, and jump from 70 years old in the boomer generation, after we gone, there's no group wealth. Because you don't have the jobs, you don't have the homes. And right now, a lot of folks living off of Social Security, retirement, pension, this, that, and the other, on and on, in their homes. That's where the wealth is, and it's with a certain generation. So it's time for us to think and start doing some deep thinking and not be so surface level. Be into the aesthetics of how things look or how things appear. Be into image. And that's one of the things that we're going to have to correct also. Just because you might like some of this Tyler Perry stuff and some of these little black soap operas that's coming on now, the Black and the Beautiful, it's just so divisive. I couldn't watch it.
You couldn't?
No.
Wow.
I don't know anybody conniving, stealing, scheming, cheating, the worst. You know what I mean? It's the worst. Mm-hmm. It's all that dark, low-level kind of stuff. It's not inspiring. And some of these people watching this stuff and say, I'm going to try that on my man. You won't be playing these damn mind games and all that other kind of stuff. It's not positive. I know you like it because some folks want to be entertained. But at some point, you're going to have to say no. We're going to have to check some stuff. And I ain't going to talk about these damn school children. Particularly little girls with the weaves and with the eyelashes and with the makeup and with the skimpy clothes. We call them hoes in training. So the phone number is 410-761-1592. Our brother Donald, the Spirit Man, and the program is that we need to talk. And we do. We need to talk. We need to have uncomfortable conversations. And it's not trying to save everybody, because everybody don't want to be saved. You got to work with those who are willing to make the changes in their lives. Nobody's going to force feed you no more. You don't have to listen to this program or other programs. We just saying that a change is coming. And we ain't ready for it. The slightest change, disrupt our lives.
What's the name?
So I think we may have a call.
Kevin.
Brother Kevin, welcome to the program. Brother Kevin, welcome to the program.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, do you have the volume?
I hear it now.
Kevin, hold on.
Okay, I can hear now. I had the volume down.
Okay, go ahead.
Brother Kevin, welcome to the program. How you, sir? Wait a minute. Which Kevin is this? Gaines? Hey, my brother. How you be? Yes, sir. Good to hear you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. All right. Myself and David, we're looking to put some things together as far as with the Baltimore Black Think Tank, and also putting some forums together where we can have public kind of conversations. We know we do those things, and we don't be charging no damn body. How you living, brother? I'm good. How the family? That's good. Okay, you finally sat down, bro. All right, we got to pull you in, okay? Put you to work. Yes, sir. So, what's on your mind, bro? What you got to say? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I appreciate that, brother. I'm happy to be back. I didn't really want to come back because I've been putting it off for a period of time, going through personal kind of situations, all over kind of stuff, and just trying to focus and take care of the things that need to be taken care of first. And sometimes, I just was called back to the radio, and you place where you need to be, because what we're trying to offer our people is some love and some light, and trying to show them a different way and a different direction that we need to go at this particular time, because of the such great needs that we have as a people. And that's something that I can speak for myself, Brother David, and Brother Dern, and some other brothers, and yourself that's been out here doing it for a long period of time. So, brother, I give you your props, because you have always been there to support us in any way, in any kind of manner that you can. Yes, sir. Because brothers like you and sisters like that's out there that have kept us going for a long period of time, even when we was going through some of the most difficult times on so many other different levels. We always had folks there that was always there supporting us and pushing us to continue to do what we are doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing my brother David Anthony Wiggins and all us getting back together again, and being able to do some things that are significant, substantial, to basically to change how people live in Baltimore City, because I can't be talking about Africa and all these other places, and where I live it is a mess and a wreck. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking to involve myself in a lot more, and looking to go into business and open up my own establishment, basically a drum shop, a drum store, a music store. But I have to do it in a neighborhood that's gentrified or going through gentrification, because it ain't gonna make it in the hood. Okay, and that's not saying being negative, but it's just factual. So anything else you want to say, brother? Yes, sir. So we're gonna keep you up, you listen in, for any upcoming things that we're going to do, because once again, the 4Ds, we're gonna be all hooked up back together again, and we're gonna, try to make some moves and some motion in the city to change the lives of our people for the better. So yes, sir. So Kevin, I thank you, my brother. Yes, sir. All right, I will. The phone number is 410-761-1592.
4 minutes.
I got 4 minutes, so I could do 4 minutes of music, or we could take these 4 minutes and we can talk. As David said, I want some of these sisters to call in, because a lot of the changes that need to be taking place, the sisters going to have to be in the forefront. Because you don't want to have our children. You don't want to have our babies. You don't want to have our heads and have our hearts.
Hold on. Ronald.
Brother Ronald, what's on your mind, my brother? I wish. Yes, sir. And just pass the word. Because the program is right now. The program is just starting out, and I kind of back and forth between soft power and hard power, being a little roughneck and just and being more no, I ain't do all that consoling kind of thing, but being a little more softer. But at some point, I'm just gonna say what need to be said and let the chips fall there where they may, because we right now we're in a crisis, and we don't realize that we can't talk about communities, because communities are made up of families, and we are going in the opposite direction that we seem to not care about families and carrying on and building legacies that we can be proud of. When we talk about African American history and the legacies and what those folks have done and what those folks were able to achieve under the most strenuous, oppressive conditions. And people stayed together because they had no choice. But once those doors opened, the federal government and the society opened up to us, it seems that, we lost our way and we lost direction. There's no doubt about that. That's what guided me, and I thank the Creator and my ancestors and my spirit team to keep me balanced and protected, and to bless me to continue to use my voice to be able to help our people to uplift themselves. Yes, sir, we do. We're gonna. Oh, he's talking about the market. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's everybody. I've been running across a lot of folks that haven't seen me since then, and they have a better idea, understanding of me from dealing with me on that kind of level of the type of person that I am. And I can get down with everybody. It doesn't matter what your belief system is or whatever, this, that, and the other, on and on. I can move and groove with them as long as we basically moving in the same direction. So just pass the word to folks that that I'm on the air, Darren on the air, David on the air, and we trying to put some air and resuscitate our folks and bring them back to life, that we can enjoy the benefits of this society and get out of this love-hate relationship that we have with America. We got no other place to go. Nobody else want us. We can't go to Africa. It's tribal. It's tribal. They ethnic. They fight with each other now in these different countries, in different groups. How can we help them when we can't help ourselves? So that's my thing is bringing some light and bringing some love to our people, because we have to love ourselves. And right now we don't love ourselves. We see it. It's up to the people to make that choice. We got free will. So we give people the opportunity and the choice to make the decision which direction they want to go. And if they decide to go, to the left, and they decide to go to the dark side, we just have to deal with that and deal with them. So I thank you very much, my brother. And hopefully I'll get to meet each other in person again. Yes, sir. I thank you, sir. The program is We Need to Talk. My brother Donald, the spirit man. I'm looking at Miss Jean and been looking at her for years.
Yeah, you have.
And sometimes we have a little offline personal conversations and all that other kind of good stuff, and giving each other advice. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to put in place boundaries with people places, and things. And with family, we have to set up boundaries. A lot of our families not working out because, in marital situations otherwise, they're not working out too well because outside influences. Nothing should be able to come between you and your man. Nothing should become between you and your woman. To be able to separate that bond that y'all have. Because back in the day, as you like to say, back in the day, when those kind of conversations, someone came in the room with those kind of conversations, the elder or somebody, or usually it's a woman, will cut that conversation off. Ain't none of your business. You talk too damn much. Okay? So there's some things that we guys have to do on personal levels. Because we don't like to look in that mirror sometimes because we don't like what we see. But if you look in that mirror and you recognize that you don't like what you see, you have to make changes in your life to make yourself not comfortable with that, because that's the safe zone. And the safe zone keeps you from growth and development. So now we're going to have to step into the unknown. Because our future is unknown. But our future is in our hands. But then we have to ask the question. Looking at what's going on with ourselves as adults. And looking at the state of our children. We have to ask ourselves, are we too far gone? Are we too far gone to turn this around? But then you have to keep faith and believe that everything happens in divine timing. And what's going on in this society right now, it's not a wake-up call, it's a shake-up call that we need to change some things. First within ourselves. First within our families and our households. Then within the community. Then within the state, then within the nation itself. We have no reason to be in this condition that we are in. We should be taking no backseat to anyone or any group or any other people. So I'm going to close this program out. We're going to be looking to see you next week. Miss Jean going to bring that music up so we can close this program out. So I thank you for listening to this program. I'm going to do what David is going to do. We're going to be forced to do so. I'm not into the technology, and I'm not to those kind of things as far as the different means or mechanisms to be able to donate to this program or any other program that are saying anything of significance of any kind of substance. But we may be forced to, so I'm going to have to do that anyway, so that this program will be one that's self-sustaining, that we can be able to have these conversations. We can have these family conversations, family discussions, those things that kind of conversations that make grandma start wringing her hands when you ask her one of those uncomfortable questions that she don't want to answer. But we can answer to the Most High. And the Most High ain't happy with us. And he gave us Trump as a wake-up call, as a shake-up call, that we can shake things up and we can make things up with each other so that we can build happy families, build strong communities, build children who has a future. Not like we talk about these soap operas, one life not to live, as you searching for tomorrow in the days of our lives. And when it's one life not to live, we want better for ourselves and for our babies. We can forgive, but we can never forget. So, I'll see you next week. Sending you love and light. Peace.